सहनौ भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ नमो नमः। अच्युताय नमः। श्री अनंताय नमः। अच्युताय नमः। श्री अनंताय नमः। सुंदराय नमः। सुरवंदिताय नमः। सुंदराय नमः। सुरवंदिताय नमः। माधवाय नमः। मधुसूदनाय नमः। माधवाय नमः। मधुसूदनाय नमः। कारणाय नमः। नारायणाय नमः। कारणाय नमः। नारायणाय नारायणाय ॐ नमो नारायणाय ॐ नमो नारायणाय ॐ नमो नारायणाय ॐ नमो नारायणाय सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः समस्तजनकल्याणे करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। Let us chant the first 5 verses, page number 7. परमात्माद्वयानन्दः सर्वभूतस्थितोऽपिह अज्ञानेनावृतो दृष्टः तथैव च मनोमलैः ज्ञानेन तु तदज्ञाने नष्टे भाति स्वयं हि सः सत्यमेतत्तथापीह कष्टमेकं च वर्तते यावन्मलान् क्षीयन्ते मनसो रागरूपकाः तावन्न तत्त्वजिज्ञासा जायते। कथञ्चित् यदि जायेत तत्त्वेच्छापूर्वकर्मतः बोधोऽपि जायते यद्वा तन्निष्ठा नैव सम्भवेत् निष्ठाभावात् परानन्दः जीवन्मुक्तस्य योगिनः साधकैर्नानुभूयेत विफलं तर्हि साधनम्। So yesterday we were seeing the purpose of purification of mind. Why should we purify our mind? I hope you remember, an impure mind is a deluding mind. It is a enslaving mind. It is a alienating mind, it is a torturing mind, and it is a hampering mind. DEATH. Okay. But now, according to this text, why purification is necessary, we were discussing yesterday. So this Supreme Self, Paramatma, Bhagavan Himself, that Lord of this universe, is residing in us as the very Self in us. And what is His nature? Advaya Ananda. He is bliss absolute, non-dual. He alone is. So when we realize the Advaya Atma in us, Advaya Atma means what? Ego is an illusion. This pure consciousness alone is a reality. That is called realization of non-dual in us. So what happens? There is peace inside, because all troubles are created by the ego. The ego, we understand it as an illusion. We sublimate and dissolve the ego. Then what remains? Only the Lord remains. And what is the nature of the Lord? Ananda is a nature. So inside there is peace. With this understanding about the self, when I look outside, what do I see? Outside I see things, beings, situations. Varieties of beings I see. In all those beings, what do I see? Once I come to know that I am consciousness and not this body, what do I see in others? I see the same consciousness. The training I have given to the mind inside, the very same training. With the very same training, the mind starts evaluating the outer world. So what do I see in others? I don't see the body. I see that one Advaya consciousness residing in all. So then what happens? There is a vision of oneness. And wherever there is a vision of oneness, there is love, cooperation, compassion, forgiveness, all noble values. The root source of all noble values is the vision of oneness. And the vision of oneness comes from self-knowledge. So therefore, peace within and harmony outside. Peace inside, harmony outside. So that is the meaning, peace and harmony. So therefore, peace is also Ananda, harmony is also Ananda alone. So Advaya inside, Advaya outside, leading to Ananda inside, Ananda outside. Okay. So solution to all our problems is self-knowledge. So now the next question is, if this self is my own true nature, if Ananda is my true nature, why is it that I am miserable? My experience is I am sad. There are a lot of negative emotions I go through. If I am bliss absolute, and if that is my nature, why is it that I am not able to gain this, experience this? The proof of possessing anything is in its experience. Whether it is worldly joy or spiritual joy. What is the proof that I possess something? I must be able to experience it. Now what is the point saying that I am Ananda Surupa and I am all the time miserable? So therefore, what is it that which I am lacking? So point number 1, Ajñānena Avritaha Ataha Adrishtaha. Most of us, we are not even aware of this truth. I don't experience it because I don't know it. But then the next question is, no, in the study class we study this, we know this. We have studied, so many texts we have covered. In spite of knowing, why is it that I am not able to experience? So then the second term comes, tathaivacha manomalaihi. Mere information will not do. There is another aspect also to be taken care. What is that? Your own mind. Mind is the instrument of knowing anything. If the instrument of knowing itself is imperfect, if the instrument of knowing is imperfect, then the knowledge also will be blurred. Knowledge will be affected when the instrument is affected. But then the next question comes. Jnanena tu tad ajnane nashte bhati swayam hi saha. But as far as consciousness is concerned, it knows itself. It doesn't need any instrument to know. Why? Swayam bhati. So mere information is sufficient. For example, there is a fruit in my hand. I don't know what fruit is. Then somebody says, this fruit is called tomato. That information is given. That very same moment, knowledge has taken place. This is tomato. Yes or no? Yes. So that is enough. Because the fruit is already there. One information is enough. In the same way, consciousness is already there. One information is enough. Tat tvamasi. What is the need of mind? Because consciousness doesn't need this instrument called mind to know itself. Are you able to understand the question? As far as this tomato thing is concerned, the instrument is the mind and the eyes. They are there, so therefore you know. As far as consciousness is concerned, even this mind is not needed because knowing is the property of consciousness. Independent knowing, instrument-free knowing, effortless knowing is the nature of consciousness. So therefore, why do you unnecessarily bring the mind into picture? Jnanena ajnane nashte saha swayam bhati. It shines by itself. If you say mind is needed to know consciousness, it is like saying torch is needed to know the fire or the sun. It is swayam bhati. I don't need an external light to know. So then this topic we were discussing yesterday, and very many people got confused, so they were asking so many questions. Once again I will repeat it. Yes, it is true that consciousness, to know itself, it doesn't need mind. But please understand, who is the one who is trying to know consciousness? We, the Jivatma. Now what is our condition? Where are we? Are we at the consciousness level or are we at the BMI level? We are at the BMI level. So therefore, as far as the consciousness in us is concerned, where is it identified to? Is it identified to consciousness or is it identified with BMI? In our case, consciousness is identified with the BMI. Let us only take the case of mind here. So consciousness is identified with our mind. What is the current status of this mind? Is it a pure mind or an impure mind? It is an impure mind. So consciousness is at present, in our case, identified with impure mind. What is the nature of impure mind? Is it introvert or extrovert? Why is it extrovert? Because impure mind is identified with the body, and therefore the understanding of this mind is, I am the body. And therefore, my happiness is gained only through body's happiness. And body's security is from the world. Body's happiness is from the world. World is a source of happiness. So therefore, an impure mind is always extroverted. There is an understanding behind extrovertedness. The understanding is my security, my peace comes from the world. So therefore, my attention should always be in the world. So now, consciousness identified with an impure mind, what will be the property of that consciousness? Remember the law? What is the law? Identification law. When entity A identifies with entity B, the properties of B appear to be the properties of A. So now consciousness identifying with the extroverted mind, where will the attention of that consciousness be? Unto itself or towards the world? Towards the world. Because the property of that extroverted mind is superimposed upon consciousness. So now this consciousness is paying attention outward. And this consciousness is identified with an impure mind. Identified means what? Becoming one. Identity means one. Becoming one. Now, when you say consciousness can know itself without mind, it won't be applicable in our case, because our condition is consciousness is not free from the mind, it is one with the mind. Correct? Consciousness free from the mind can definitely pay attention to itself. But what is the condition of our consciousness? I can call it impure consciousness. Impure consciousness means what? Consciousness identified with the impure mind. So, consciousness, its one of the function is to pay attention. This is one of the properties of consciousness. Knowing means what? Paying attention. So, identified with the impure mind, it is paying attention unto the world. It has become natural for consciousness. But now, to know yourself, you have to pay attention unto yourself. Consciousness identified with this impure mind cannot do that. Consciousness without the mind can do. Consciousness with an impure mind, identified with the impure mind, bound by the impure mind, cannot do it. Just like I am free to run, but if I am tied to a pole, will I be able to run? No, the property of the pole becomes my property. What is the property of the pole? Still. So I also become still. Clear? So therefore then what has to be done? There is only one way. This mind has to be refined. Impure mind has to be purified. This purified mind automatically gets attracted to the God or the self. That is the nature of a pure mind. That pure mind can be silenced also. Pure mind is a peaceful mind, obedient mind, disciplined mind. So then, if that mind has to be withdrawn towards oneself, there is absolutely no problem. So once mind is purified, such a mind can be turned towards the source. And when that mind is turned towards the source, consciousness is turning itself unto itself. And then when consciousness experiences Ananda there, mind becomes silent. Is it clear? Okay. Shall we proceed further? Okay. Now, see the second verse. Jnanena tu tadatjnane nashte bhati swayam hi saha. It is true that through right knowledge, consciousness illumines itself, knows itself, it doesn't need the mind at all. But satyametat, this is true. Tathapiha even then, iha, here, ekam kashtam vartate. There is one problem. What is the problem? The problem is consciousness is identified with the impure mind. And therefore, yavan malana kshiyante, verse number 3, manasah ragarupakaha, as long as the mala, the impurity of the mind remains. How does the impurity of the mind express itself? Ragarupakaha, ragadvesha rupakaha. Impurity of the mind expresses itself as likes and dislikes. How does likes and dislikes express itself at the seat of meditation? Wandering mind, chattering mind. Where is it wandering? Either towards the object of like or towards the object of dislike. So these are all the expressions. Otherwise we may say, I don't have any likes and dislikes. Sit at the seat of meditation, test for yourself. Is your mind silent or chattering? If you say it is chattering, that is a symptom of this disease. What is the disease? Likes and dislikes. Okay. As long as we are extroverted, we will never understand or we will never be able to detect the disease of the mind. To detect the disease of the mind, we have to pay attention to the mind. Paying attention to the world and then talking about mind, that will not work. It is something like a thing is there and you're looking somewhere else and saying, this object is like this. Look at it. Understood? It will be like a blind person describing the feature of an object. Pay attention to the mind, then only you will know the impurities of the mind. Otherwise you will never know. So in meditation, this is what we do. We pay attention to the mind. We withdraw ourselves and look into the contents of the mind. Pay attention to the contents of the mind and you can learn lot of things about your mind. So this is one thing. So impurity of the mind is expressed as ragadveshas. Yavan malana kshiyante, as long as the impurities are not removed, as long as mind is not purified, how will that mind behave? How will an impure mind behave? An impure mind always will behave in an extroverted fashion. That is what is said in the next line. Tavan tattva jitnyasa jayate manushe hridi. Manushe hridi, in the heart of manusha, human beings. In our heart, tattva jitnyasa na jayate. Tattva jitnyasa means what? Jitnyasa means what? Jnatum ichha, desire to know. That is called as jitnyasa. Jnatum ichha is jitnyasa. Tattva means what? Tvam means ness. In English, N-E-S-S. Ness is called tvam. Amaratvam. Tvam. The ness means the nature of that thing. So tat means that. So nature of that means what? Truth. In short, tattva means truth. So desire to know the truth, that is called as tattva jitnyasa. As long as mind is not purified, that mind will never show any interest in spiritual matters. This is one challenge we all face, Generally, husband is interested, wife is not interested. Or wife is interested, husband has no interest in spirituality. And the one person is trying to drag the other person into this class. But nothing works. Or sometimes both the parents were trying to drag their children Because they understand the value. They want their near and dear ones also to get involved. And they feel so dejected when there is no interest seen. So what is the reason? This is the reason. A mind which is impure will not show any interest in spirituality. Swamiji, then what should we do? Deal with them with patience. Deal with them with compassion. Whatever spiritual knowledge you have attained, you live your life. That is enough. You live your life based on that spiritual knowledge. May your thoughts, words and deeds express that fragrance of spirituality. Then it is possible that your behavior may inspire this person to peep into spirituality. I am living such a miserable life, full of tension, worry, anxiety. And here is a person all the time cheerful, happy, beautifully handling situations. What is the source? How is it that I am miserable and this person is cheerful? Situation is the same. Naturally comes a sense of adoration. That person may not tell you, but deep down there is a respect. Any person who is peaceful, we cannot but respect that person. A person who is wise, a person who is carrying himself very cheerfully, beautifully, handling all situations, not running away from situations, taking right decisions at appropriate moment, decisions which are beneficial for everyone. Any such person in our life, you just cannot ignore that person. Because essentially the mind is good. And therefore, mind cannot but get attracted towards an embodiment of goodness. And then this person, whenever the problem is there, this person will go to a person who is disturbed. Where will the person go? Who is peaceful. You have so many people in your life, but you don't try to hold on to anyone. You will automatically, the mind will say, who is the right person to guide me in my moment of crisis? What is the first picture comes? Face. The peaceful person. Somewhere deep down you have kept that person as your role model. And then in such moments of crisis, you consult that person to get right guidance. You see? So naturally what happens is, your spiritual unfoldment starts expressing through your thoughts, words and deeds, and it starts shedding light to people who are around you, and they get inspired by you, and then they also want to know, how did this person become like this? This question is always there. Yadyat acharati shrestah tat eva itarah janah sayat pramanam kurute lokah tat anuvartate. What is this person? What is the source of his strength? So then they come to know, oh, this person comes to Chinmaya mission. This person attends study class. Okay, slowly that person starts coming. This is how things happen. But if you set a wrong example, that also they will say, you are going to all these classes and still nothing has happened to you. So don't bring a bad name to Chinmaya mission. People who come, they also stop coming then. Anyway, the point is this. Impure mind will not be attracted to spirituality. Because for an impure mind, world is a priority. Why? Conducive environment gives me happiness. Conducive environment gives me security. So let me make my environment conducive. This is the first priority. That impure mind is not able to understand how knowing the self can solve my problem outside. What is the use of attending the class? What is the use of meditation? There are so many problems in this world. Unless I go and solve the problem outside, how will the problem be solved? Just by sitting with closed eyes. What is the use? All these arguments you will find. So therefore, tavanna tattva jitnyasa jayate manushe kriti. Even to understand the value of spirituality, you must have some purity. Even to have that tattva jitnyasa, a desire to know, interest in spirituality, there should be some purity. Now, even if suppose that person comes to the class, see verse number 4. Kathanchit yadi jayeta tattvecha purva karmatah. Because of some karma in the past, some punya karma, this person has developed some interest in spirituality. Bodhopi jayate yadva. He is able to understand also. But tannishtha naiva sambhavet. Abidance in this, practicing it, doesn't happen. So, let us furthermore analyze these statements. So, first step, mind is absolutely impure. As far as that person is concerned, he will be allergic to spirituality. That's the first state. Okay. He can't even stand spirituality or spiritual people. Interestingly, Gurudev also was of this kind. These Swamis, they are leeches in the society. Only taking, not giving anything. Everyone has to start this way only. Everybody. First step is no spirituality at all. Completely worldly, materialistic. That's how we start. In fact, that's how we have been living as insects, plants, animals. And the initial stages of human existence. But then, little purity has come because of some punya karma done. So what is the expression? Tattva jitnyasa happens. That's the next stage. You start showing interest in spiritual matter. There's a second stage, let us say. Little more purity comes, then you go to the third stage. What is the third stage? You start understanding what is being discussed. Even to understand, purity is necessary. That is third stage. Fourth stage. Because understanding may be there, but somewhere the doubt is also there. I don't know whether it is true or not. Because majority of the people are not coming here. Maybe the whole thing is a bluff. Am I in the wrong boat? Because majority people have entered. See, there is a tendency that majority is always right. When you are going to purchase a computer or a scooter or something, what is the first thing you do? If majority have chosen something, that must be right. In the same way, majority have neglected this path. So you question yourself, am I doing the right thing or am I wasting my life, wasting my time? Because so many things you have to keep aside to come here. So, what comes next is you are able to understand it and you have faith in it. Faith in the scriptures, faith in the teaching, faith in Guru. Remember, this faith is also a byproduct. It is also an expression of purity of mind. A pure mind says, what is said is right. An intuitive voice from within says, it must be true. If the scriptures have said it, it must be true. If the masters have said it, it must be true. It is not my experience, I agree, but still they cannot be wrong. It is contradicting logic sometimes, but they cannot be wrong. That voice from within comes only from a pure mind. That is called as Shraddha. Shraddha. A belief that it is true. One among the Samadhi Shatka Sampatti is Shraddha. And Shraddha has something to do with purity also. Pure mind automatically has Shraddha. Okay, so that is the next stage. You are able to understand it and you have faith in the teaching. And when the mind becomes little more pure, you don't stop with faith. You start putting effort to gain the knowledge. Practice. Otherwise, you just come, regular satsangi, attends all satsang, but does nothing. I must put forth effort. Whatever they are saying, it has to be implemented. Sadhana has to be done. So when little more purity comes, you start doing sadhana. Every day, some time is allotted for sadhana, spiritual practice. Maybe for meditation, maybe for study, whatever the may. You start implementing it in your day-to-day life. That is the next stage. But you are doing it, but you find that at the seat of meditation, for some time you get a glimpse of the higher, but again mind comes down. You struggle. That is what is discussed here. Nishtha naiva sambhavet. Nishtha means firm abidance. What do you mean by firm abidance? Ability to hold on to truth effortlessly. Remaining in that state. Once in a while you may come down, but immediately you bounce back and remain in that state. That is called as Nishtha. Effortless abidance in the reality is called Nishtha. Abidance. Abidance means what? You are resting there. You are not struggling to remain there. As though you are sitting on a chair. How much effort are you putting to sit on a chair? And that is called as abidance. You are abiding in the chair now. Chairastha. What we need in yoga is atmastha. Stha means to be seated. That is called as nishtha. Effortless abidance in that state. You see the different levels. What is the first level? No purity, nothing, extroverted. Animalistic life. That is where we start. Then you show interest. Then you understand. Then you have faith. And then with that faith, you start putting practice. Then with the practice, so different levels. What is that one thing which decides your level? Purity of mind. This is the point. See verse number 5. Verse number 4. Bodhopi jayate yadva. At satsang I am understanding. Bodha jayate. Whatever is discussed I am able to understand. But nishtha naiva sambhavet. I don't have enough purity of mind to abide in that truth. That effortless, spontaneous God remembrance doesn't happen. That is called as nishtha abhavam. So then what happens? Nishta bhavat paranandah jivan muktasya yoginah. That ananda which yogi experiences, which yogi? Jivan muktah, the one who is liberated while living. As far as he is concerned, he is established there. That ananda, that supreme bliss which he experiences, sadhakaihi na anubhuyeta, sadhakas don't experience it. Vifalam tarhi sadhanam, and thus the sadhana becomes a waste. It doesn't become a waste. The point is this: whatever sadhana you do without purity of mind, you get a glimpse of it, again you come down. You get a glimpse of it, again you come down. And you don't know where the problem is. What is the problem? Lack of purity of mind. You are not able to stand there because you lack purity. So therefore, verse number 6, page number 19. Dridhanishtaikasiddhyartham Manaḥ Śodhanam Tadartham sadhaka sarve yatantam dridhanishchayah dridhanishtaikasiddhyartham Manaḥ Śodhanam tadartham sadhaka sarve yatantam dridhanishchayah. Yes. So therefore, Manaḥ Shuddhi apekshita. Purity of mind is absolutely essential. Essential for what? Dridha nishtha eka siddhi artham. Siddhi artham, to gain this. To gain this one thing. Eka siddhi. To gain this one thing. What is that one thing? Dridha nishtha. Firm abidance in the self, in God. For that sake, what is required? Manaḥ Shuddhi is required. Purity of mind is required. Tadartham, to gain that objective. Sarve sadhakaha, all seekers. Dridhanishchayaha, with firm conviction. Yatantam, they should strive. So let there be clarity. What is the benefit of a pure mind? If I don't have a pure mind, in what all ways my spiritual progress is hampered, obstructed? Let me have a clear understanding. Little bit of purity is not sufficient. To the extent I have purity, to that level I will get stuck. You will find all these categories among sadhakas. People who never come to satsangs, one category. People who come to satsang, but they are non-serious listeners. They have nowhere to go, therefore they have come here. Nice place, Swamiji. Your bhajan is so nice, Swamiji. I get good sleep, Swamiji. Okay. So varieties of seekers you can find. They come here, they understand a little bit also. Some people have faith, some people they put forth effort, and some people die hard serious. So what is that one thing which is making the difference? Chitta Shuddhi. You see how the text begins. The text begins by making us the importance of Chitta Shuddhi. No point in talking so many things without making us understand the value of purity of mind. That's how the topic starts. You see. So now have you understood the value of purity? Yes, Swamiji. Now the next question is how to purify the mind. So verse number 7, page number 23. Manaḥ Śodhanam sadhanani vadantiha yajñodhanam tapaschaiva japastirtham vratastatha Manaḥ Śodhanam sadhanani vadantiha yajñodhanam tapaschaiva japastirtham vratastatha. There are so many sadhanas. Sadhanani vadanti. The wise people, the scriptures, they talk about so many sadhanas. Sadhanas for what? Manaḥ Śodhanam. Those sadhanas, spiritual practices, which will help us in purification of mind. There are so many sadhanas. What are the different sadhanas? Yajñas. Ritualistic sacrifice. Dhanam, charity. Tapaha, austerity. Japa, tirtham, visiting places of pilgrimage. Vrataha, vrata, various kinds of vows. So there are so many sadhanas mentioned in the scriptures. Okay, so which one should I follow? Now see the next one. Verse number 8. Vichara sadhanam shreshtham varnyate trayathamati mahatvam tasya vai proktam krishnena swayameva hi. Vichara sadhanam shreshtham varnyate trayathamati mahatvam tasya vai proktam krishnena swayameva hi. Though there are so many means mentioned in the scriptures, yajna, dana, tapa, japa, vrata, etc. But among all the means, shreshtham sadhanam, the best, what is it? Vicharaha. Vicharaha means what? Right understanding. Though it is written inquiry here, let us understand as right understanding. Whatever sadhana you may do, fine, but that sadhana has to be done with the right understanding. Oh Guruji, is it your own suggestion? No. Mahatvam tasya vai proktam. The greatness of vichara is mentioned by whom? Krishnena swayameva hi. Bhagavan himself has mentioned this. It is not that it is my opinion. Oh Guruji, where did Bhagavan tell this? Next verse, page number 29. Verse number 9. Nahi jnanena sadrusham pavitramiha vedyate bahavo jnana tapasa putamad-bhavamagataha Nahi jnanena sadrisham pavitramiha vidyate bahavo jnana tapasa puta madbhavamagataha. Nahi jnana. Now this is a word of Bhagavan himself. So Guruji is quoting Bhagavad Gita to say that it is not my opinion, it is Bhagavan's opinion. See Bhagavad Gita. What did Bhagavan say there? Nahi jnanena sadrisham pavitram iha vidyate. Which chapter? 4th chapter. Jnanena sadrisham pavitram. A purifier like knowledge, na iha vidyate, in this world, it's not there. Jnana means right understanding. That is the greatest purifier. Bhagavan himself has said this. Also Bhagavan has said in another verse, Bahavo jnana tapasa putaha. Very many have, by doing this tapas of jnanam, jnana tapas, austerity of knowledge, training their mind to think right, that is called as jnana tapas. Bahavaha putaha, they have purified, madbhavamagataha, and they have reached me. Very many sadhakas, Arjuna, they have purified by the austerity of knowledge, and they have reached me. So what is austerity of knowledge? Training the mind to think right. That training is called jnana tapas. So you may do all kinds of sadhana, but if your understanding is faulty, that sadhana might give opposite results. That is the meaning. Now we are going to see different sadhanas mentioned earlier. So what are the sadhana? Yajna, verse number 7. Yajna, Danam, page number 23. Yajna, Danam, Tapaha, Japaha, Tirtham, Vrataha. Okay? When you don't have the right understanding, the very same sadhana pulls you down. But when you have the right understanding, that sadhana becomes a means for purification. Let us take one by one. The first one is Yajna. So what is Yajna? Traditional meaning, Yajna means that ritual. There is a Homa Kunda. You are doing some Homa, Havana, whatever. Yaga. So fire is there, and then you offer Havis. Ghee is offered. So many things are offered. So many samagris are offered, and you chant Idam na mama. This is not mine. Fine, ritual, good. But without understanding, of course, that punya is always there. Whenever you do any punya karma, punya is there. But if you want to get greater benefit, understanding has to be clear. What is yajna? Yajna is not putting something in fire. Yajna means sacrifice. What are you supposed to sacrifice? Our own ego. Remember, connect every sadhana to the final thing which you are going to do at the seat of meditation. At the seat of meditation, what are you supposed to do? You are supposed to drop the ego and hold on to God. Yes or no? Yes. Ego means what? Ahankara, mamakara. The mind is wandering in every sense object which is associated with mamakara, I, mine, my thing. That is where the mind wanders. You have to detach that mind from there. Then the mind wanders related to BMI, ahankara. You have to withdraw the mind from there. This withdrawal is not possible unless ego is weakened. Weaker the ego, easily you can detach from ahankara and mamakara. Detachment from the world is possible when the ego is weakened. And attachment to God or the self is possible when there is jnana janita bhakti. devotion for God, fully understanding who God is. So at the seat of meditation, only two things you have to do. Detach, attach. Detach from the world, attach to God. Detach from the lower I, attach to the higher I. So how will you define a pure mind? A pure mind is the one who is fully qualified to do this attach-detach process. A pure mind is a qualified mind. Which is a qualified mind? Which can detach easily, which can attach easily. So what kind of mind it should be? It should be an egoless mind. Because an egoless mind can easily do this. Correct? So therefore, all the sadhanas that we do in this world, the purpose of that sadhana is purification of mind. Means what? That sadhana must help me efface my ego and develop devotion for God. That's what Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi says. The last verse of Upadesha-sara. Ahamapetakam nija vibhanakam mahadidam tapo ramanavagiyam. Mahad idam tapah. This austerity is the highest, greatest sadhana. What is austerity? Aham epetakam nija vibhanakam. That sadhana where ego is dissolved. That sadhana where divinity manifests itself. Any sadhana, mahat tapas. So when we say pure mind, what are we talking of? Egoless mind is a pure mind. So therefore, what is that sadhana? What should any sadhana do? It should help me efface my ego. With this understanding, now all the sadhana has to be understood. You see how that right understanding is absolutely useful. Mere sadhana is not sufficient. Sadhana backed by right understanding, only then purity can come. That is why Bhagavan says, Jnanam Sreshtham. Because if sadhana is done without proper understanding, that sadhana will not yield right results. It can yield even contrary results also. You do japa, you are arrogant. I do so many malas. So what has happened? Mind has become pure or impure? More effort and more impurity. Are you cleaning the room or putting garbage in the room? Effort alone will not be called sadhana. Effort with right understanding. That is why knowledge is very, very important. Jnanam Sreshtham. That is why Bhagavan says. You are doing tapas. Great tapas. Fine. What is that? Torturing the body. And in the process, without your knowledge, a new crown for the ego. What is that? I am a great tapasvi. A new feather in the crown of the ego. You see, all these things are possible. That is why right understanding is absolutely essential. The question is not how much japa you are doing, how many tirtha kshetra you have visited, what all vratas are you doing. Vrata also can be ego boosters. Swamiji, I don't eat anything. Oh, okay. Ekadashi vrata very strict, Swamiji. Not even one drop of water, Swamiji. Oh, okay. Means what? I am holier than you. You see? Sadhana with right understanding. So how to test whether you are progressing? Look at your own ego. Is it bloating? Danger. So first one, yajnaha. So what is yajna? Sacrifice. It is not putting something into the fire. Yajna means sacrifice. What has to be sacrificed? The ego. So any place where the individuality is sacrificed for the welfare of the totality, that must be called yajna. It's not necessary that you have to be in front of the fireplace. It's not necessary that you should be a pujari. Pujari all the time, their profession itself is performing yajna. And sometimes they are more egoistic than anybody else. Pujari is near Bhagavan is Mahishasura. The point is, merely doing yajna is not going to purify your mind. Yajna with the right understanding. So now the beauty of this definition is, you can perform it anywhere. You can be a housewife and you can perform this yajna. You can be a professional, you can perform this. Isn't it? Jagata ishadhi yukta sevanam ashtamurti bhrad deva pujanam. Jagata sevanam is deva pujanam. Serving this world becomes my worship unto the Lord. God, you have given me this ability, this talent. May I serve you? Now you don't need any service, but you have this creation. So by serving the creation, I am serving the Creator. That becomes yajna. For the welfare of the totality, I sacrifice my individuality. So what is that sacrifice? It is a sacrifice of the ego. In every profession you can bring this yajna spirit. So when we come and serve the mission center, what are we doing? We are doing the service of the Lord. I am not getting anything, but I am serving. That becomes yajna. But even when we come and serve, remember the ego is still there. Somebody else is better in something, step aside. Allow that person to do. That is also yajna. Don't think that yajna is always you must do something. Sometimes by not doing, you are doing service. There is a talented person, more capable. You say, hey, you take over. I'll step aside. That is also yajna. Many times our ego doesn't allow. No, I am the one who is serving. Oh, you are you. Get out. That is not yajna. So that is why you see, right understanding is necessary. With the right understanding, you know whether what you are doing is right or wrong. You may be in the right place, but doing the wrong thing. You may be doing the right thing, but with the wrong attitude. So unless you have that right understanding, sadhana cannot be called a sadhana. Though externally it may appear to be a sadhana, but it's not. So yajna, number one. Dhanam, number two. Very dangerous. The giver always feels superior, automatically, unknowingly, secretly, silently, deep within. Beware, what you are giving is not yours, it belongs to Bhagavan. Giving has to be done, but that giving should lead to egolessness. Only then the mind will get purified. Just by giving, your mind will not get purified. Of course, by giving, mind becomes purified. No doubt, at least compared to those people who don't give anything. Givers are far better, even though it is selfish giving, arrogant giving, boastful giving, doesn't matter, at least he is giving. But see, we are discussing here because we need maximum benefit. Every sadhana should bring maximum benefit. That is possible only if that attitude is also brought in, along with physical action. Physical action coupled with right attitude, born out of right understanding, it will give maximum results. Dhanam. When we are giving, not expecting anything, when we are giving very clearly understanding that it is Bhagavan who is giving, it is his. When that is done, mind becomes purified. Remember, what is the training given everywhere? To drop the ego. Whether it is yajna or whether it is dana, the training given to the mind is to drop the ego. This mind I am going to face at the seat of meditation. If the mind has been trained to drop the ego, what will it do at the seat of meditation? It will effortlessly drop the ego. And my job at meditation will be very easy. Suppose the mind is trained to hold on to the ego in the world. What will the mind do at the seat of meditation? It will hold on to the ego. So who is a loser? If you have trained your mind to hold on to the ego in the early level, gross level, then the mind will do the same thing at the seat of meditation. So you are training the mind in the grosser field so that the mind behaves in the same way in the subtler field. Train the mind in the grosser field so that the mind is able to do the same in the subtler field. This is called right understanding. Yajna, dhanam, tapaha. Tapas, austerity. What is austerity? Whenever we are training our body, mind and intellect in walking the path of righteousness, that training given to the BMI is called tapas. Always there is a temptation to deviate from the path of righteousness. Always there is a temptation to yield to all worldly temptations. There is a tendency to yield to temptation. Every time I am resisting this temptation, I am doing tapas. Loosely translated, tapas is nothing but disciplining. Disciplining the body, mind, intellect, the senses. But what is the meaning of disciplining? Disciplining means training. Training the body, mind to walk the path of righteousness. Then any such training is called tapas. And remember, in any tapas, there is a struggle involved. Why is there struggle? Because the natural tendency of the mind is to go down. You are trying to lift the mind up. That is where the struggle comes. Every spiritual practice is like going to gymnasium. In gymnasium, what do you do? The tendency of every heavy thing is to go down. What do? I fight against that tendency. In the process, what happens? The things remain as it is. Dumbbell is dumbbell only. But your muscles develop. In the same way, while remaining in the world, struggling with these temptations, world will remain the same, but your spiritual muscles develop. And these spiritual muscles are what we call as purity of mind. Once the muscles are developed, that thing which you are not able to lift, today you are able to lift it. Why? Your muscles have developed. In the same way, that thing which the mind was not able to see earlier, now with that pure mind it has become subtle, now it is seeing, intuitively experiencing. Earlier I did not see God, now I see and experience God. How did you do it? Purity has come. Spiritual muscle has come. Now you are seeing it. So any training given at the body, mind, sense level, that training is called tapas. Mere torturing the body will not be called tapas. If through every tapas, what should happen? Purity should increase. Otherwise it's not tapas. So in Bhagavad Gita you have Kaika tapas. Vachika tapas, manasa tapas. 17th chapter. What is shariram tapas? Tapas at the body level. Deva dvija guru prajna pujanam shauchamarjavam brahmacharyam ahimsam cha shariram tapa uchyate. Bhagavad Gita. Whatever struggle, strain we take in order to worship the Lord, in order to serve some Mahatmas, serve some Guru, serve some elderly people, all those physical strain will come under this tapas. Sharira tapas. Deva, Dvija, Guru, Prajna Pujanam. Shaucham, keeping the body clean, that also is a tapas. It's a temple of God, so it should be kept clean. With this attitude, when you do, then that becomes a tapas. Arjavam, whatever I have understood, let me put it into practice. Whatever I am convinced of at the intellectual level, let me live it. That struggle, that is also shariram tapas. Brahmacharya, disciplining the senses, it is a tapas. Ahimsa, I feel like hitting somebody, but physically I control myself. That is also tapas. You see, ahimsa. So they are all shariram tapas. Then comes vachika tapas. Vachika means speech. What is the tapas at the speech level? Anudvegakaram vakyam satyam priyahitam chayat swadhyayabhyasanam chaiva vangmayam tapa uchyate. When we speak words, how we should speak words? Many times people say, oh, you should speak the truth. Everybody knows it. No, there are so many aspects. Number one, anudvegakaram. Speak in such a way that it doesn't agitate the listeners. Anudvegakaram. Number two, satyam. Speak the truth. Number three, priyam. Speak it sweetly. Number four, hitam. Speak it. Speak that which is beneficial for everyone. All these fours you have to keep in mind. Many times we think speaking the truth alone is vachika tapas. No! Speak the truth, speak it sweetly, in a non-hurting way, in a beneficial way. Many times vachika tapas people think just remain silent, maunam. Maunam is very easy. This is difficult. You have to speak. You have to speak to the point. Beneficial words. Non-hurtingly. You have to speak the truth. Can you do it? It's a tapas. This is called as vachika tapas. Kayika, vachika, and then manasa. Mana prasada saumyatvam maunamatma vinigraha bhava samshuddhirityetat tapo manasa muchyate. What is that tapas at the mind level? Ensuring that the mind is peaceful. Ensuring that the mind is cheerful. Manaprasada, cheerful mind. Saumyatvam, peaceful mind. Maunam, train the mind to be silent. Interestingly, maunam is put in manasa tapas, not in vachika tapas. Can you remain silent at the mind level? How healthy your mind is determined by how silent your mind is. When no job is there, no responsibility is there, can you keep the mind silent? Mind is my instrument. When do you use your instrument? When there is need. I have a pen. I have to write something. I use it. After that, what do? Keep it back. What is the state of that pen? Silent. In the same way, there are times when I have nothing to do. What should be the mind? Maunam. That shows how healthy your mind is. Chattering mind is a sick mind. Silent mind is a healthy mind. Maunam. Bhava samshuddhi. Whenever you are going to do something, what is the intention behind doing that? Samshuddhi, purity of intention. That is another aspect of manasa tapas. So these are all the austerity at the mind level. So this is the kind of austerity which scriptures are asking us to do. Kaika, vachika, manasa. Not the kind of, standing on one leg, looking at sun and not eating anything and torturing your body. Whenever these tapas come, these are the things which... Don't destroy this beautiful gift given by God. The gift of this body. Take care of it. And when Bhagavan expects tapas from us, this is what we have to do. The BMI should be trained to walk the path of righteousness. Our instrument should not tempt us to deviate from this righteous path. When we do this, then that is called as tapas. You see how much right understanding is necessary. Doing is one thing, doing it with right understanding is totally another thing. That is why jnanam is necessary. Tapaha, then come japaha. Japa. Japa means taking the name of the Lord. It is not just merely taking some name. Of course, in the beginning that is also encouraged. Mechanically taking some name. But what is the right understanding? I am taking the name of the Lord. So how should I take the name of the Lord? With the right understanding who the Lord is. Then only that involvement comes. Intensity comes. Focus comes. Emotions come. The Lord of the universe who is supporting the whole world. That Lord who is supporting me, who is ever with me, loving me, taking care of me, concerned about me, empowering me to fulfill all my responsibilities, without whom I have no existence at all. With this understanding, when you are doing japa, it is not just mechanically chanting some name. When I am chanting the Lord's name and the mind is wandering somewhere else, what does it mean? It is telling Bhagavan, I don't value you. I don't want you. You are not important in my life. That is the meaning. Chanting with a wandering mind means what? Lack of love, lack of seriousness, lack of importance, lack of priority, lack of gratitude. So japa has to be done this way. If the ego is ruling you, your japa will be mechanical. If there is absence of devotion while doing japa, know for sure ego is ruling the heart. You see, japa is a pointer. With that name, I transcend to the divine plane, leaving the worldly plane. It is a pointer to transcendence. I am reminding myself that there is a divine entity in me. Let me shift my attention to that divine entity. A reminder is japa. When I take Bhagavan's name, what does it mean? I am reminding myself, I am not this body. There is a divine, adorable entity in me. Let me shift my attention there. So that's why Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi says, Uttamastavād uchchamandatah chittajam japa dhyanamuttamam. Compared to Stavanam, Stavanam means Stotram. So many names of God, one name is better. But that name also in the beginning you chant it loudly, Uchcha Japa. But compared to Uchcha Japa, Manda Japa is better. Uchcha Japa means loud chanting. Manda Japa means whispering. But compared to that, Chittajam Japa, Japa that is happening in the mind is better. But compared to that, Dhyanam Uttamam, meditation upon the Lord is the best. So see the different stages. In the beginning I loudly chant because mind is distracted, extroverted, wandering. But as mind gains focus, slowly, the loud chanting becomes whispering. Whispering becomes just mental because the pointer is no more needed now. The more and more you get absorbed in the higher, focused in the higher, after that pointer is not needed. Then what to do? Pointer becomes a distraction now. Throw away the pointer. Dhyanam Uttamam. Remain there. Abide there. So all these sadhanas are wonderful sadhanas provided it is done with right understanding. If right understanding is not there, it may not yield result. It may even yield contrary results. It is all because of lack of understanding. So therefore, what is the greatest sadhana? Vichara sadhana. The sadhana of right understanding. Now Tirtha and Vrata is also there. That we will see tomorrow. Right. गुरु ब्रह्म रूप जानो शिव का स्वरूप मानो गुरु के समान नाही दूसरा जहान में गुरु ब्रह्म रूप जानो शिव का स्वरूप मानो पाप से बचावे गुरु ज्ञान को सिखावे गुरु ब्रह्म से मिलावे गुरु तुर्य पद ध्यान में गुरु ब्रह्म रूप जानो शिव का स्वरूप मानो यह श्रुति वेद कहता गुरु बिना ज्ञान कैसा ज्ञान बिना मुक्ति कैसे आवे तेरे ध्यान में ज्ञान में गुरु ब्रह्म रूप जानो शिव का स्वरूप मानो शिव का स्वरूप मानो सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्तिः 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 हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ